Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far, and welcome back to day 2 of the opening weekend. And wow, what a crazy day of matches we had today. Storylines all across the board, drama hitting the timeline certainly in some of these series, upsets galore as well, game 5 round 11s, loads to dive into today. Very much enjoying your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. Let's just dive straight into things. Veli back on the desk today. Just a great job I think the CDL and Esports tension have done, really, having an actual proper desk in real life here, right? Because last season the kind of virtual thing that had going on was not so ideal. This also from Scump Game Day says Tim the Tapman comes in the reply, no you don't, says Scump, and well, we'll see how that worked out here for them in the coming minutes with the curse that may well come through, and Tim the Tapman has some words to say on the timeline. The first series, FaZe versus Paris. This is one that I think Ake said a couple of days ago he felt like Paris were going to make this one close. We saw actually it was stage 1 last year in Cold War when it was FaZe Paris went all the way to game 5. They should probably have lost that series, right? And today we honestly see a very similar thing. The CDL guys in the keys to victory were saying Paris eventually need to pray to try and win this series, but they actually get it a lot closer than that. This game 1 especially, Garatu seems to be a really good map for the Paris guys, to be honest. They win this one 250 to 218. I think it was John and Temp especially going off on this game 1. They had some cracking maps, and to be honest, the Tiny Terrors really did not wake up until map 4 of this series. Simp and aBeZy were super underwhelming for these first several maps, and it really does create some very interesting storylines this year. We know the competition is at an all-time high, but just the fact that FaZe are coming in here and having a very difficult time up against the Legion just paints a great picture from the entertainment in the year that we have to come ahead of us. As the flank says, while John saw Scump's jetpack tweet and started playing like Black Ops 3, because John was on fire today, right? And Tem had a great couple of maps early on as well, and well, Paris actually, they end up losing this second map on this search and destroy, because well, this is where the controversy starts to come into play. So as you can see, it's 3-3 at this point. FaZe gone to win this map, and I mean, yes, Cellium's up to his old tricks, right? You guys might remember actually it was on Piccadilly back in Modern Warfare when there was some talk of him laying down behind this kind of booth thing, and he would swipe his aim back and forth left and right and get aim assist through the wall, and you can see he's effectively trying to do a similar thing here over by these trains. He goes back and forth, he can tell that Fellow's over there because he gets the aim assist through the wall, and then he says to aBeZy, hey, let's double nade this. Him and aBeZy both nade it, and Fellow dies. So I mean, yeah, that's quite something. You see Decimate doing actually a very similar thing just after as well, where he's trying to do the same thing through the wall on the bottom side. Apparently this glitch wasn't really too well known about, but yeah, Cellium, this is just doing what he does, right? Kind of, well, this is a mechanic you can abuse, the aim assist through the walls, and I mean, yeah, still, if it's there to be abused, Cellium will likely be the one to do so. So anyway, whatever your thoughts on this are, certainly things were kicking off as a result of it, because as Clayster says, wonder if both Cell and Desi are doing here, wonder what they're doing. Convenient that Cell knows where Fellow is to call for the double nade too. Great game, aim assist through walls. So Clay isn't really blaming, blaming Cellium, especially for this, just saying that aim assist shouldn't really be happening through walls. It is a fair statement. But of course, look, we have seen relatively recently as well, the likes of Kenny and other people were calling out Simp for kind of defending Cellium on the snaking front, but but calling out Drazah when he kind of abused the smoke bug that we talked about at the Kickoff Classic. And that's really where things start to kick off. As Slasher says in reply, he drops a thumbs up, and as Enable says, no shot people were talking about one-way smokes, because obviously it was 100 Thieves, right, and Los Angeles Thieves, Enable's organization, got called out for this when Drazah used it, and when players are doing this, I'm crying, it says Enable, both are equally pathetic, but it's expected from COD players. Whatever he takes, he says, and as Enable says, you hate to see the pot calling the kettle black, right? There's definitely some hypocrisy going on here, and really whatever way you look at it, there is kind of undoubtedly some hypocrisy going on, right? Because Simp just a few days ago was defending Cellium on the snaking front while calling out Drazah abusing the smoke, and now we have this situation where, I mean, obviously Cellium is clearly abusing this in-game bug and this glitch, right? And well, as Simp says, GG's to Paris 1-3-2. They do go on to win this series. We'll have a look at the final couple of maps here in just a second, but this was the big storyline, really, because as Jay says in reply, why is Cellium using aim assist through the walls? Why is it in the game? Simp says, eventually saying, look, if it's in the game, we're going to use it, but Drazah drops the lol in reply because you could use that same logic to what Drazah was doing with the one-way smoke that Simp wasn't happy about, and Simp said to Drazah and the Los Angeles Thieves guys, they deserve to lose that series where Drazah abused that smoke bug, but now when Cellium is using this one, then it's perfectly fine, right? So it's it's difficult to kind of wrap your head around how this wouldn't be hypocritical to at least some degree, right? In true to your perspective, smokes out, Simp says, siege is in, tough scenes for you. So I mean, yes, definitely the drama will continue between these two over the coming days, but yes, Cellium getting called out for this one, and kind of understandably so. I don't know, Cellium's just always up to this type of stuff. It's his playstyle, but he's never really going to escape criticism from the community as a result. Game 3, it goes Paris's way as well. Again, a Garatu control seems to be very favourable for Paris, right? They win a nice offense here. They end up taking this one 3-2, or 3-1, sorry. They go up 2-1, and I mean, yes, then FaZe actually came alive, right? As Crow tweets out, FaZe, wake up, what's going on here? Like, please actually do something. And well, they actually managed to make it work relatively resoundingly. The fourth map as well. Like, finally, I think it was Arcitys especially, it was like 20 and 13 that map. Finally, the Tiny Terror showed some life on the Tuscan, and then game 5 was dominant, 6-1 on the Berlin. So FaZe definitely showed a touch of class, but just the fact that they got pushed this close was, well, frankly, very exciting, I believe, for the rest of the season. And this also from Paris Legion, right? These guys can't help taking an L, even when they take a W, but obviously they lost the series anyway. But well, strong start to the season. Back to the grind. GG's Atlanta FaZe. Loss versus Los Angeles Thieves, they say. Drazah here in the reply giving the GG's. They did eventually change this one up, right? They got the right graphic in the end, but I'm just finding that Paris are trying their best, still is not always good enough. Let's dive into the second series of the day. I'm going to talk about the New York versus Los Angeles Guerrillas one tomorrow morning because a load of stuff happened today, but let's talk about this OpTic London series. I told you guys earlier today I thought this was going to be a really close series. I predicted a game 5. I thought that OpTic would just about find their way through it, but well, it goes to a game 5 round 11 in honestly crazy fashion. This game 1 is just Bacage at its best, frankly. Like, so much chaos on the map every single time. OpTic managed to establish like a 20-point lead, and they can effectively just get off the hard point. They get a few kills, they just get off the hill, and well, the game clock ticks down, and it's 187 to 163, or whatever it was at the final scoreboards. So, I mean, yeah, still kind of crazy how this is how Bacage is played, but still, that's how the map works. So anyway, OpTic managed to win it. They got 1-0. Then this game 2, I mean, definitely, well, there's some nice teamwork right here from Dashy and Illy, making this round work out for them. But honestly, I do find it remarkable how OpTic consistently, this game 2 and the game 5, they go up 4-2, I'm pretty sure, both of these maps, and then both of their leads evaporate. Crazy familiar, right, with watching OpTic last year, with what we see this time around as well, even with a new roster, right, with 2 of the guys being different to the roster they had last year. But still, the same themes that seem to be there again. Loads of sniper hit markers today as well, so really showing it's not particularly strong right now. Definitely is not deserving of being G8 in my books at the very least. But well, anyway, OpTic have a somewhat of an advantage right here. And then it actually goes, I mean, Nasty has this crazy ace, but the round 11 was pretty ridiculous, because Zero seemed like he was going to be in a position to sound like, well, to hear the bomb getting picked up when Illy went to plant it, but Zero didn't hear it for whatever reason, therefore Illy gets the bomb down. They win the round 11 despite this crazy nasty ace, and that's OpTic going up 2-0 in the series. So 2 very close maps indeed. OpTic win both of them. This game 5, this round 11 story especially, could have probably gone London's way as well, but yes, OpTic established a 2-0 lead. But anyway, then things start to turn on their head. This Tuscan control, I was really impressed by London's final offense, because the defense tends to be very strong on this map, but London made a great early play over towards the B site. They get that very early on, and well, they don't look back from there. And Gizmo really was a revelation this series. Like, I mean, yeah, this guy 31 in 18, this guy plus 13 on this particular map. Illy had a bit of a shocker here on this map 3. We'll talk about some of the reasons potentially for that here in just a second. But yeah, I mean, OpTic, they go down 2-1, but it's still maybe not the end of the world, or they go down 3-1 in this particular map. They're still up 2-1 in the series. They won, actually, it was the control against Los Angeles Thieves on this very map, right, to actually stay alive in that series at the kickoff. But well, would things happen right here? Because usually European teams, they don't have much ice, right? When it comes down to going down in the series, usually they don't really bring it back all that often. This time it was a very different story. The slaying it from the Ravens on this map 4 was honestly really surprising to me. Like, it's tough to see a team of Shotzi, Scump, Dashy and Illy getting dramatically outslayed by a team of the London guys, right? Young up-and-coming European challenger guys that have come over to the North American Pro League, right? And well, absolutely demolishing everyone. Like, the slaying on this map was ridiculous. Like, OpTic got completely blown off the park. Gizmo, again, it was just ridiculous. Afro as well had his moments. Nasty was there, and honestly, Zero was just filling the gaps at the end of the day. These guys were frying, and it's great to see the potential, because I've been telling you guys these guys have potential, but I honestly did not think they'd put it together this early, quite honestly. And it's good to see they're able to put in a performance like this in the very first matchup, or the first couple of matches they played here in the Pro League. And actually, I tweeted out right here, the Call of Duty League retweeted, so shout out to the boys. But I mean, yeah, it's crazy to really think, right, that OpTic get outslayed. This OpTic team get outslayed in the respawns that dramatically. But there's no doubt the competition this year is pretty ridiculous. And well, then we go into the game 5. Again, this is such classic OpTic, it's incredible. They go up 4-2 in this game. Like, I mean, it was honestly, they were 4-2 up, I believe, and Dashy got a first blood to go up 5-2. Then they lose the 4 versus 3 in that round. He got a first blood with the sniper. That if they'd have won that round, converted it, I'm pretty sure it would have been 5-2. But they lose it, it's 4-3. Then it's 4-4. Then it goes to a round 11, and a round 11 where again it's OpTic with the first blood. OpTic get the first blood. They have a 4 versus 3, and it feels like, okay, they're gonna take their time. They're gonna not get picked. They make a good play. Then they commit towards the site. Illy gets picked outside on his own. Then it's a 3 versus 3 retake. Dashy's there with the pistol in a corner. He gets taken down as well. Then it's a 2 versus 3. Illy goes on some crazy flank. Scump gets overwhelmed on the bomb site. And I mean, then Illy can't really do anything on the flank. Actually, might have been Shotzzy on the flank, so apologies. But you can see right here, Scump's on the bomb all on his own. Shotzzy's trying to make the long flank. He gets one kill, but there's really nothing you can do to stop the bomb. So again, it's just such vintage OpTic, right? Up 2-0 in the series, get reverse swept, up 4-2 in the final map as well, and just everything collapses. Other teams would not throw away rounds like that, right? Especially the individual fights. Like, you could just see it happening before it happened, right? It's just happened so many times at this point. It just beggars belief. But yes, London, of all teams, complete the reverse sweep, and well, OpTic can actually go down in their very first series they play right here. And I mean, yeah, this kind of, it meant to say 3-2, right? But look at these series stats. This is not something you'll see out every day of the OpTic guys. Shotzzy has a 0.87, Illy with a 0.79, Dashy with a 0.9. Scump actually had a great series. Nice bounce back for him from the kickoff. But I mean, yeah, Gizmo, Afro, and Nasty leading the lines on the slaying department. Not something I expected to say really up against the OpTic guys. But this also from Illy definitely worthy of a mention. The fact that, well, apparently these servers that have been playing on as of late haven't been all that good. Packet burst glitch every 5 seconds after the second map lol. GG's to London. So apparently wasn't really affecting the OpTic guys the first couple of maps. Then this packet burst glitch was coming into effect. I believe that Zero even said that the first 2 maps from their perspective, there was some packet burst issues type going on, and then they kind of calmed down for the final 3. So, well, obviously this is online Call of Duty. It's online at the end of the day. LAN is a very different story. Thankfully, these matches are important for seeding, but still, every team gets to go to LAN. So there's only so much you can read into these online matches, but still a definite indication of how these teams are playing and faring right now. Even Nasty says, we played with packet loss and laggy comms first map and half a second map as well. Some serious composure from us to turn it around, and maybe the OpTic guys are experiencing kind of the same thing on the other end. So always difficult to say how much online has played a factor here, but just that round 11, like some of the plays that are being made, like I'm probably not caused by laggy online servers, frankly. And London come out with the we are witnessing a breakdown, breathtaking win, right? Because of course we saw the Minnesota Rokkr tweet last year that well, definitely caused some controversy. Let's dive into this final series that I want to talk about in this video. Surge versus Toronto Ultra. If anything, this was even crazier than the previous one. Like game 1, Sid was just on fire. 36-17 he goes game 1. And I mean, honestly, Tuscan Hardpoint don't chal Sib on that map. This guy's ridiculous. They got up 2-0 in lightning time, and I honestly thought, okay, these guys are just doing it, as I say right here in the tweet. Sim and the boys helping us get back on schedule, right? I thought that, okay, just mob through Toronto, which would have been surprising anyway, but I thought maybe online things could be somewhat different. But Toronto finally find their footing in the series. They win a Gather 2 control. It was a really close fought affair. Toronto won an offense, then Seattle won an offense back. They finally end up closing it out. Sib again has a pretty good map statistically, but the Ultra guys, they get the job done. They then go into a Berlin hardpoint, and this of course was the Berlin hardpoint where they dominated Seattle in the very final map of the Kickoff Classic, and they like 70-point clubbed them. They take it to a game 5, one of the most ridiculous game 5s you are going to see. Like Toronto had a 4-1 advantage, right? It goes all the way to a round 11 again, and still, I think they get first blood right here. Bance gets first blood in the round 11, then it goes down to a 2 versus 2, and Accuracy hops on the defuse and gets it with like maybe half a second to spare before he gets killed off the bomb. Like, this is just incredible. I honestly thought that the European teams were going to pull off like back-to-back reverse sweeps, which is just unheard of, right? European teams, they have no clutch factor, they have no ice historically, but I really thought they were going to pull off back-to-back reverse sweeps here, with London doing it, and then Ultra doing it once again as well. But Accuracy just shows why he's the Iceman, gets this crazy ninja defuse, and well, that's going to do it for the series. Lots to talk about tomorrow, I'm sure. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on the like button. Told the YouTube gods, this is a good video. I'd just like you to see it as well, and I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you as always, take care, and I will see you next time.